Hi, George Bruno with you, also known as the Sultan of Silver, and welcome to another episode of Beards Without Borders. Pinot Grigio from Bota Box, B-O-T-A. I like it. Sit that down on the luxurious animal trap that I have here. Oh, and tonight the episode is brought to you by a Cohiba from one of my cherished clientele. Let's see. Oh. I wish we had smell-o-vision here. Smell that. Smell this right now. Nice, right? I always like a nice tubo. Put that in the tobacco plant. I grow tobacco every year, just a little bit for decoration, and then I dry it at the end of the year, age it, and then I smoke it next year. Let's get this going here. Cohiba. I'm just going to poke a hole in it with my check tool. It's a pipe tool. Straight through, make sure you don't pierce the side. Perfect. Let's fire this baby up. See this right here? My roommate got this for me. She likes gnomes, garden gnomes. I have a female roommate. We're good friends. We share a very large house. She likes gnomes, and she was at a yard sale and found a, this is so weird, it's a zombie gnome, because she knows I like The Walking Dead, and the eyes glow in the dark. How freaky is that, man? I usually put it in the bushes right behind me. It freaks people out. It's alright. It's bizarre, I know. But I'll tell you what else is bizarre. You're watching on YouTube a guy in a top hat, a big white beard, smoking a cigar and having wine. And you can't explain that. I can't explain it. Perfect. I have great news. I'm going to be a judge at the National Beard and Mustache Championship in Nashville on September 3rd at the Ryman Auditorium. I've never been to the Ryman, never been to Nashville, so it's going to be fun. I want you to be there. You to be there. Maybe we can sit outside the Ryman, home of the Grand Ole Opry for what, 50 years? Maybe we can sit outside the Ryman and have a cigar. Bring a cigar for me, will you? We'll do a Beards Without Borders in front of the Ryman Auditorium. How's that sound? Classic, right? I'm looking for a sponsor. Now I'm going down on my own dime, and I'm honored to do that. I'm honored to be recognized. If you go to their website, the National Beard and Mustache Championship, you'll see me on their website as one of the judges with some highly esteemed people. So here's the deal. I'm looking for sponsorship, but it can't be a men's grooming product. Another company is offering men's grooming products there, and they're a big sponsor, and I honor that. And they have some really great products. I believe the company is called Billy Jealousy, and they're out of Texas. And I would try their products. As I try every product that I can find, I think you should put any Billy Jealousy products in your arsenal for beard care and shaving. It'll be good. But what I'm looking for is a sponsor that's not a men's grooming product. So if Harley Davidson wants to sponsor me there, that would be fantastic. If Indian Motorcycles wants to sponsor me, I'm wide open to that. If Vespa USA wants to sponsor me, hey, let's make it happen. IKEA. Red Lobster. The Capitol Grill. Who wants to sponsor me? I'll wear your hat and your t-shirt, and you will get name dropped everywhere, and people will see your product and your brand everywhere. Let me know if you want to sponsor me. So this is really the National Beard and Mustache Championship episode of Beards Without Borders. This thing is growing, man. I grow tobacco, different types of tobacco every year. This is a Russian variety. I watered it today with a little bit of Miracle Grow, and it just like came alive. It exploded. These aren't the big long leaves like you see in the fields. These are, I mean, at their biggest, they're going to be about 8 inches. Huge. They're very, very big. And I'll hang them upside down. I'll dry them, and then when they're completely dry, I will ribbon cut them with a razor blade on a cutting board. After they're completely dry, it takes a while because these are very succulent. If you know anything about tobacco, as I'm feeling this leaf, it's a very thick leaf, and it's almost wet to the touch, and oily as well. So, and I can smell it on my hands. But it's kind of a neat plant. I really like it. So next year I'll be firing up a pipe with that in it, like I did with. I have tobacco from 5 years. I'm not a big box wine guy until I started enjoying box wines. And this is Boda Box. It's really, really good. I keep the box in the refrigerator for white wines, of course. On the counter, kitchen counter for red wines. Hey, did I ever show you the cowboy comb? See that? It's in the shape of a handlebar mustache. I keep this in my pockets. And I like the teeth because the way the teeth are molded, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of cool how they're molded so it doesn't pull. Now today's beard is not handlebarred, it's straight down. So I just kind of go to an angle like this. And I use this for the whole beard. See that? Does a nice job. And I like it because they're wide enough where it cuts right through it, especially for a mustache where you want to cut through to the skin. Like for instance, if I wanted to handlebar this right now, right in the middle, go to the side. Right in the middle, go to the side. But I think I'm going to keep it down. Actually, no, that looks good, doesn't it? A handlebar mustache with a big ass beard and a top hat. With a zombie gnome next to me. and a tobacco plant. Now there's not a combination like that anywhere, I guarantee. Really enjoying this. Or as the most interesting man in the world says, whenever I have a cigar, it enjoys the hell out of me. A lot of weird stuff going on in the world. A lot of hate going on. Beards Without Borders, we're all about peace. Peace be with you, and also with you. This might be the only place in the world where the international community is responding to me, and also with you. I get that all the time in your emails, and I appreciate that. May peace be with Harley Davidson or Indian Motorcycle as they contemplate sponsoring me for this. I want to talk about fear. Some people have no fear. It's like the guy that went to heaven. And St. Peter, oh, there's a cat behind me. Hi, baby. Now that's the that's the mama cat of my babies inside. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? I'll get you some food. Remember the last time I did on the back steps, I did a Beards Without Borders, and there was a little tiny kitty. Well, since then that kitty has been caught, fixed, has shots, and is now an indoor cat. And I think he's watching me from the window up there. That's kind of funny. I love animals. My God, I could live in the woods with animals. Sounds weird. Many of you are like that. You've told me in your emails. You're introverts with extrovert tendencies. It's kind of a cool way to live, because that way you never need anything. You don't need people. If you're a guy, you don't need a woman. You don't have this weird compulsion to fill a spot or start looking on the dating sites or start making phone calls or going through your little black book and looking to make a booty call somewhere. What's neat is that when you're ready to be with someone, you'll be ready to offer a whole person and not a needy, broken, compulsive fool. Can you hear the crickets and the cicadas? They weren't buzzing and chirping like this last time we were out here. But it's now August, and that's how things go. Fear. So a guy shows up at the pearly gates. St. Peter says, "What did you do to get here?" The guy says, "Well, a biker pulled up too close to my car. And I told him, get the hell out of my way, move that bike before I knock it over." St. Peter said, "Whoa, when did that happen?" The guy said, "About 5 minutes ago." I thought it was funny. I am the king of dry, sick, weird humor, okay? Like, I thought of this joke today that I used to tell a long time ago. So I would say to people, "Did you hear about the disaster at the airport?" They'd say, "No, what was it?" I said, "A lady backed into a propeller and it disaster." I know it's bad. And it gets worse as the night goes on. Cheers. You know, we're trained. Our limitations are trained in us. Do you ever see a kid want to just like jump off stairs or, "Daddy, catch me"? Like, just abandon all sensibilities because they have no fear in them. You know, because we're born with two fears, loud noises and the fear of falling, and every other fear is learned. Think about this. Here's a cool story. I knew of some folks that had a very large dog named Barney. Barney was put into the laundry room every night so he wouldn't poop and pee around the house. And a gate was put in the doorway, you know, like a child safety gate. And when Barney was little, just like this big, he was a golden retriever type. And they would secure the gate in the doorway to keep Barney in the laundry room at night, because he wasn't quite fully trained. It was easier to scoop and mop in a laundry room than it was on carpet. So they kept him in the laundry room. After a while, and you that have animals, you know this, dogs tend to love their crates. They tend to love their little sanctuaries, their little corners. And what was once a very restrictive environment is now a comforting environment for them. Barney grows up to be a huge dog, like a mini horse. You could ride this dog. Huge, big, heavy. When he leaned against you, you moved. I mean, he could throw his weight around. Gentle as a teddy bear. So you'd say, all right, Barney, time to go to bed. Good night now, we have to go to bed. He would go into his laundry room, and the owner would just lean the gate up against the doorway. Not even secure it in the doorway, just lean it up against the doorway. And the sight of that gate was restrictive to Barney, because since he was just a little pup, he viewed that gate as something that kept him from going out. It was restricting. And Barney, as a full-fledged adult, a big dog at 2 or 3 years old, could just nudge that thing with his nose and knock it over. But as a big dog, he looked at that gate. And what that gate meant to him was, that thing keeps me in here. Kept him in the laundry room. And he'd go there every night and stay until you would just go in the morning, lift it up, take it out. But like I said, he could nudge it with his nose and knock the thing over and get out if he wanted to. What do you have in your life that has kept you back, that has restricted you, that if you just nudge it, it'll fall over? What in your life is holding you back that has no power except in your head? I remember my grandfather, he said a lot of neat things. Italian grandfather. He had authority. He was a little guy. He was kind of I come from a family of short Italians, but I'm not a short Italian. That gene must have bypassed me because I'm tall and husky. He was a little guy. But when he spoke, holy cow, he had authority. I remember one time I was 17 years old arguing with my father in the kitchen in New York. And it was an issue where, I don't even remember the issue. All I know about the issue was that I was right. It was one of those things where, like, I was right, my dad was wrong. I mean, that was the reality. And my grandfather always had a cigar and he said, stop. Enough. But Grandpa, enough. He was just a little guy. Enough. I stopped. But I'm right. You know what his response to me was? But he's your father. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Even though I was right, I didn't claim the right to be right. And I couldn't. Because my grandfather reminded me that that man over there was my dad. He's your father. And I know what that meant. Respect him. Otherwise, I'd get my ass kicked. which happened on more than a few occasions. Strangely enough, I'm grateful for it. I can't say that I was a bad kid, but I was not an obedient child. But I will say my dad wasn't the perfect father either. And I'm not a perfect father. I have 3 kids. My dad had 3 kids. So there's a lot of similarities there. He'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. Cats in the cradle. When my grandfather died, always smoked a cigar. Always had a cigar in his mouth. Always. Riding the lawnmower, like the lawn tractor, cigar. Digging a ditch, gardening, cigar. Always. Sitting out in the backyard like this, cigar. Smelled like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, the cigars came out in my neighborhood. I wrote a book about that. I'll share the details with you sometime on how to purchase that. A really neat book on dads, barbershops, cigars, cigar boxes. Remember when you had a cigar box? If you're one of the lucky kids, you had a cigar box. In that cigar box, you put Matchbox cars and jackknives and trading cards and little bubblegum comics. The iconic Spanish cedar cigar box. It's an amazing thing. Get one for your kids. You got boys? Get them a cigar box. Go to a cigar store. The empty boxes cost $1 or $2. Even the really nice ones cost like $1 or $2. Get a couple boxes for your boys. They'll keep stuff in them forever. Forever. It's awesome. But Grandpa, I'm right. He's your father. Enough. He's your father. Okay. That was a different day, wasn't it? When we respected our dads. I don't think I ever respected my dad till I was an adult. I loved him. He was a pain in my butt. But only till I became an adult, it was weird. When I became a father myself, that's when I appreciated my father more. Luckily, he's still here. If you still have your dad, just hug him, man. Just hug him. He doesn't smoke cigars anymore because he had bladder cancer a couple times. And he feels that a life of smoking cigarettes contributed to some of his cancer in his bladder. I don't inhale or anything like that, so I'm doing okay so far. I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50. I'm doing all right. Now we're at the point where I usually take the band off. When it starts getting down, I don't want the band to burst into flames, but I got to find that little seam where it is. And I'm getting new glasses like in the next week or two. I think what kind of glasses do you have? If you wear glasses, what do you have? I've always had dark frames, plastic frames, you know, like you've seen me with the dark plastic frames, several types. And I've recently, I've gone to bifocals. And I'm thinking of just getting just like rimless, where it's just glass, no, you know, because it's almost as if like if you don't have a beard, the glasses might compete, or no, the glasses are the centerpiece of your face. And when you have a beard, your beard is kind of like the centerpiece. It's the thing that's noticeable. So I want to get glasses that have a minimal visual impact. You know, I'm going to turn on this light for a second. I got a little light above here. How's that? Let me adjust this. There we go. Much better. Hold on. This gnome has glow-in-the-dark eyes. It's a trip, man. That'll freak you out. You come out here at night and you see that little thing crawling in the bushes. Holy cow. What's holding you back? What is the gate? Who has authority in your life? Now, my grandfather had authority, my father has authority, and rightfully so, as parents do. I even look to my dad for help or advice now. And he doesn't so much have to be right now. He doesn't, when you're younger, you want to be right all the time. But I think what happens is, now he just speaks his mind and looks back on his years, like I look back on my years. Beards Without Borders is about peace. It's about getting along. A lot of people who are the haters, rock throwers, shooters, murderers, fighters, when they get old, they're going to look back on their days and they're going to wish they didn't do that. In the same way that a lot of us look back on our younger years, more foolish years, and we're going to wish we had peace. When I look at who my followers and fan base are, they're all over the world. That's why this is Beards Without Borders. That's why when I say, let it grow and let it flow, see that? Let it shake like a curtain in the wind. Men all over the world can relate to that. It means patience. To some people it means obedience. In certain faiths, a beard is grown out of obedience. I'm not growing it out of obedience, I'm growing it out of laziness. How's that sound? I don't want to spend any more time in front of the mirror. But there's a certain look that I'm going for, and I know I can't get near it with the clippers or the scissors or the razor. You want to hear the grossest thing that ever happened to me? Here's a gross... this is a warning right now. If you don't turn off the phone or the PC, if you don't want to hear this, this is the grossest thing that ever happened to me in my life. I have a condition called Meniere's disease. And it's a condition that strikes where you get nausea and vertigo with a few minutes notice. And if you're walking, you better find a wall to touch, a railing to hang on to, because you will go down. It's as if it's like pin the tail on a donkey. You're spinning around, and even just moving your eyes from left to right will make you dizzy. Even though you're not moving, it's as if you went on a carnival ride or one of those astronaut training machines, and you get off of it and you can't walk straight. That's exactly what happens to me. I don't know what brings it on. I've been suffering from it since my late 30s. It comes and goes as it pleases. There are certain things that exacerbate it. I have a very productive life, but I also know that I have to be careful with my sodium. I have to be careful with caffeine. I can't eat processed meats. As much as I love submarine sandwiches, hoagies, prosciutto, salami, all that stuff, any salty stuff, it helps. What that does, it retains water inside your head, and in your inner ear, the semicircular canals. When they get too much liquid in them, too much liquid retention, it throws off your balance. So you end up going through sweats, and then freezing, and then throwing up, and then sitting on the can. So yesterday, I woke up, I call it wobbly. I had a wobbly day. I woke up as if I sat up in bed. When I woke up on a Sunday morning, my first day off, got up, and I almost fell over. I'm like, whoa. Because I was sleeping when it came on me. So I spent the majority of the day in bed until this morning. So literally 24 hours I was done. And then it takes a day to recover from it. I've missed work countless times. I can't even begin to tell you. Where I always carry a plastic bag with me just in case I have to barf, believe it or not. There's always a plastic bag in my briefcase. It's weird, I know. And I keep like a little plastic bucket alongside the bed. It's odd, it's weird, it's violent. and it's my body rebelling, and I don't know why it is, what it is, but I've learned to kind of like roll with it, and I know that when it hits, I'm done for a day or two, just done. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. I gotta walk about 15 feet out of my bedroom, across the hall to the bathroom. I get to the bathroom, I feel it coming up out of my stomach. Now, how do you throw up yesterday's food? You thought it was digested. This is gross, like I said. I put my head over the toilet and barf. This is so gross, I'm sorry. But if you know someone who suffers from this, I wish they could find a cure for this. My God, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Actually, if there's something you could wish on an enemy, it would be this. Look up Meniere's. M-E-N-I-E-R-E-S. Meniere's disease or Meniere's syndrome. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I can't even begin to tell you how bad this thing is. And I'm barfing. And I never had a beard this big, so when I put my head over the toilet, are you ready to get grossed out? Like, this is the toilet. I went like this, and I barfed, and it went down the front of my beard. And then I realized it happened, so I took my beard and I lifted it out of the toilet, and then I went over the toilet like that. When I was done, I got up and looked at the mirror. It looked like somebody poured chunky soup down the front of my beard. It was the most disgusting thing. It almost made me barf just looking at myself. And I hate, and it's so humbling. It's so humbling because you're so weak and so helpless. And there's nothing anyone can do for you. There's nothing. The best thing you can do is lay down on the floor in front of the toilet. So when you get that feeling, you got to get up and just do your thing. And you're emptying out of both ends. I know this is gross. But if you know anyone suffering from this, be patient with them. It's a cross they have to bear, and they have no control over it. I'm going on almost 20 years with it, and it's really the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Stress brings it on too. That's why I'm as chilled out as I am. I'm a pretty mellow dude, if you couldn't tell. You want to try? Take a little... It's funny. Let me turn out the light for 1 second. Hold on. Let me see if his eyes are glowing. Hold on. Oh yeah, look at that. They're glowing. Pretty cool, huh? It's funny. It's bizarre. I think she got it for like $1 in a thrift store or something. Makes me laugh. So I think the people that have limitations in front of them, restrictions, half of those things are learned, like Barney's gait. As soon as you realize that you can do whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I didn't realize that till I was 50 years old. That I can go anywhere I want. That I can be world famous for something. Fame does not equal fortune. This beard, for the past few years, every time I grow it, it gets me known. When I don't have a beard, nobody knows who I am. It's almost like, you know how like some people say it's a great disguise? Well, you know what's a disguise for me? Is a clean-shaven face. With the beard, I could be walking in any city in the country. I can be overseas. I can be in the Caribbean. And people say, salt in the silver! Clean shaven, nobody knows who I am. Incognito. Will I see you in Nashville on September 3rd? If I do, Come up and introduce yourself to me. A lot of people have different handles on YouTube and Instagram other than their name. I use my name so you can't confuse me with anyone. So I can go up and introduce myself. That's why I say my name. If you don't know my name, it's my fault. It's my responsibility that you know who I am. That's what master networkers do. It's not another person's fault if they forget who you are. It's your responsibility to educate people as to who you are and what you do. Cohiba. And try that Boda box. Holy cow. What a decent wine, honestly. Can you see that? I mean, it's just, this Pinot Grigio is just fabulous. I was thinking of going to a movie tonight at my favorite independent art film theater. I'm a member of a membership theater. You join, it's about $75 a year, and then your tickets are only $5. And for people that go to movies a lot, and I like things on a big screen, not necessarily on my TV in front of me, although I watch stuff on TV, movies and stuff on Netflix and whatever, on demand, I still like going to a theater. I like the experience of a theater. I was going to go to a Woody Allen film tonight, Cafe Society. I don't know much about it. I struggle a little bit, the whole Woody Allen thing, but he's a good filmmaker. Weird. And I'm a little weird, and that's okay. My weirdness relates to his weirdness. Everyone's weird. Everyone's got sin and weirdness. And I'm not going to hold it against you because your weirdness is different than my weirdness. That's what grace is. You know what grace means? Grace literally means unmerited favor. That means I give you an A on your report card before you even start. And you have to work hard to get a B or a C. But I esteem you highly without even knowing you. And that's important. So, grace and peace be with you. Grace is unmerited favor. It's me liking you before knowing anything about you, and if I did know something about you, I'm not holding it against you. Your color, your religion, your beliefs. Because inside, we all bleed red. Every single one of us. I don't care who you are, your blood is red. And that's what Beards Without Borders is all about. I was going to go to a movie tonight and then go to a Mexican restaurant. I go to this Mexican restaurant a couple blocks down from the movie theater. And you order something. It's authentic food. You order something and literally 60 seconds later you hear it sizzling on the grill. I like open kitchens and it's brought to you sizzling. And I can eat for $10, 10 American dollars. I can have a magnificent meal and they give you free margaritas too. So if I meet a friend for $25, I can have appetizers and 2 wonderful meals and go to a movie for $5 each and have a fantastic time. I like movies first and then going out to eat because then that's kind of fun to talk about the film after the movie. See what you thought of it. Makes for good conversation, or especially if you're meeting somebody for the first time or with an old friend or something. I like old friends. I like people that I've known for years. I like new friends. I'm going to be starting a series of talking with people. I don't know what I want to call it. I have 2 lawn chairs. I might just call it 2 lawn chairs, where I talk to celebrities and people I know. People who who you would want their autograph, I'm friends with, and can just sit here and talk with them. People that trust me, people that I trust. And I might do that real soon. Some really well-known folks that you'll recognize them. Did you watch that speech by John Paul DeJoria speaking to Stanford Business School? The single best 50 minutes you're going to have this week. John Paul DeJoria, the founder of Paul Mitchell Systems, speaks to Stanford Business School on YouTube. Powerful. You have to listen to it. It will motivate you. Look it up. You'll love it. I'm also going to do, I think, maybe a fitness series where you do a workout with me. And you know how we talk about we have some of us have a curly beard, or all beard here has a curl. And I think I'm going to film this at the gym late at night. I'm going to call it Beard Curls. Corny, yes. But it'll be me working out and showing you my workout. Do you guys have ink? A lot of you are inked up, aren't you? A lot of the bearded brothers have ink. What do you have? What does your ink mean? Is it significant? Is it symbolic? I have my children on my body, displayed on my body with ink. So when I die, I'm taking them with me. A tattoo is the only thing you can take to the grave with you. Think about it. You're not taking anything else with you. Well, my friends, time is short, and so is this cigar. If it gets any shorter, my beard is going to burst into flames. So, I bid you peace. Thank you for spending time with me. The sounds of nature, the zombie gnome, the tobacco plant, a cohiba, the cowboy comb, that's good. Thank you. Peace be with you.